with a lot of people never having done this before, what would you say your top tips would be for the first time manager managing a remote workforce?
Yeah, it's a really, really good question. So first time manager managing a remote workforce. I mean, I think that the discipline that you need around the weekly updates to the business, both internally to your team and externally, not outside the company, but externally to other stakeholders across the business, to let them know what you're up to. That's really important, because in the heat of the moment, the week gets busy, and there's always this feeling of, oh, you know, the kind of soft stuff, like the internal updates and the communication, like that can wait because I've got this deal to close, or this customer that's, you know, really needs attention right now, or whatever it might be. And so it's easy to deprioritize that. But for me personally, every Monday I've blocked out time on my calendar on a Monday afternoon, and having done the one-to-ones with the teams at the end of the previous week and the stand-ups and so forth, and captured the, you know, the summary of what's been going on and what they've been achieving, which deals they've been progressing and so forth. I then block out that time on Monday afternoons to get out an update, which goes to the entire international team and to the leadership group at InVision, that just gives a summary across kind of key metrics, calling out some individual highlights from the week. You know, we do a couple of fun prizes for the team, and we have a song of the week included in there as well, based on a theme to do with how we've been doing that week, or how we've been feeling that week, or what we've been up to. So all of that creates kind of community within the team. It makes people feel they're being recognized, and makes sure that what we do, particularly in APAC, which everyone knows who works here, you know, time zones can be a challenge in American or European companies. It makes the team internally feel that what they're doing is being noticed and recorded, but also it's very helpful, frankly, for leadership in InVision to understand what the APAC team is up to, because we're not online during a lot of the day when they are. And you know, obviously from an alignment perspective, making sure that it's clear that we're following along with the rest of the business and the best practices, and you know, everyone can sleep well at night knowing that the APAC business is in good hands.
And I can imagine what normally happens in a workforce that isn't remote is that people, when it comes to their one-to-one meetings, they can often skim across the surface without being too metric focused. So what do you do in those individual meetings with your team to make sure that what they're saying isn't just off the cuff, just getting this meeting out of the way and on to the next activity?
Yeah. I mean, I think, to be honest, like, this is something I struggle with myself. I think I am quite propelled, you know, I'm quite driven person, and quite often it's always like on to the next thing, like what have we got to achieve next, like keep it going, keep it moving. And I think particularly in a remote environment, you have to remember always as a leader that, you know, your team can often need you to just be there to listen to them, and, you know, exhibit some of the softer skills, because they're at home all day in some cases, if they're not out on the road meeting with customers, and that, you know, they can spend 3 or 4 days consecutively at their desk at home. Obviously, hopefully they have friends and family and support structures around them, but also in your role as part of that team, it's really important to carve out time just to shoot the breeze and to talk about what they've been up to, and, you know, how they're feeling about everything that's going on. And particularly in a time like right now, you know, one of the things that we've introduced recently, is pretty much since all the changes that have occurred with COVID-19, is we have 2 half-hour blocks every week, which are blocked out on the calendar. And I won't say exactly what they're marked as on the calendar, because it's probably not safe for work. But the idea being that it's just time where no work is discussed. We get a cup of tea, some Tim Tams, and we all sit around and have a chat about something that's going on. So one of my team just bought a car recently, and he's a kind of mechanic. He likes to fix up cars and soup them up and so forth. And we were looking at pictures of the car that he's just bought, and, you know, talking about how it compares with his old one, and, you know, just kind of like all that kind of stuff, you know, like no work, just talk about what's on people's mind, what's going on in people's lives. And that's been really good for me personally, because I think I probably, to a fault, I should have carved out the time to do that more often before. But knowing, you know, how much pressure the team is under right now, and how difficult it is navigating the current situation with COVID, that was the kind of forcing function to do that. And it's been great. You know, it's been lovely, as much as anything, just to hear more about what's going on in everyone's lives and families and all that stuff. So